I'm gonna be sure I can head into my stream to ensure, like, Okay. Surprisingly, I have exactly 514 subs. I gotta get plenty of subs. But yo, what's good, chat? How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling blessed. Back was more of me playing The Walking Dead Season 3 New Frontier, which is not necessarily a typical playthrough. There are certain things I want to mention as well, which obviously YouTube's going to keep it private of what I specifically mentioned about them, because this is not a disrespect. It has nothing to do with my homie Angel. Obviously, I wouldn't mention much about him on my stream. He is a cool guy, because I would never start beef with him. I almost did, I'm pretty sure, but we situation. So that's not what I mentioned. I'm not gonna mention exactly unless I want to, but overall it's all good. Oh yeah, in episode 3, I gotta start that. Shocking developments drive a wedge between brothers. David, I fucking hate him. Anyway, so number one is what I want to mention is my girl's, or excuse me, my wife or wifey's mom. She mentioned to me, and I'm actually gonna read the text. I'm not gonna read exactly because I don't wanna. There are certain things that are private because, yeah, I get the Bible mentions to respect privacy. It means like respect it until they have given the information, meaning you have to have consent. But I'm gonna read the part that she mentioned, where she mentioned something. She mentioned to me. So she mentioned to me, so I know about what happened exactly at the movies, where your stepmom decided to not go with you, and I need you to be honest with me at the moment. Aight? Does your mom know exactly what happened? I just want to know and make sure she knows. I'm not mad at all. Do you remember? And then I mentioned, they're all aware, and I've specifically mentioned to Amber, my wife, that though she is mentally mature enough that since she overall lives under her dad's roof, that she have to overall have either her stepmom, which her mom mentioned that her stepmom can't be her stepmom, so meaning she's not her stepmom. So either her dad's girlfriend, Hope, or her dad consent, simply because I don't necessarily want her to worry anybody. So apparently she just left the house by leaving a note where she could have just let either of them know that she will be overall be out late just for the movie specifically. And then her stepmom, excuse me, not her stepmom, and then her mom's like, oh, okay, so that's how it occurred. And I'm like, my stepmom dropped me off there most likely. And she mentioned, well, you guys really need to have an adult, meaning someone who's mentally mature. And I'm like, well, I'm mentally mature, so. But she is, I don't want to say boomer because that is quite stereotypical. She is a Gen X. So, Gen X typically think that even though you're mentally mature, they think those who are old in features are more mentally mature, which is stupid. I'm pretty sure that's how the 35 thing became a thing. Actually, that became a thing since, like, 3 centuries ago, and I'm like, you fucking gotta be kidding me. Like, 3 centuries ago, and they chose that. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's bullshit. I'm pretty sure that was chosen last century. You never know. Actually, that was chosen 2 centuries ago because that was actually the first age requirement, which is bullshit. Anyway, she mentioned, well, you guys really need to have an adult with you, and your mom needs to know that your stepmom said that she was gonna be with you, and then she just dropped you off. That is not necessarily okay. You guys are not necessarily old enough, which I'm gonna have to disagree, because as a Gen Z, I can prove people wrong. And I'm not saying that Gen Zs are acting like they're smarter than Gen X. I mean, like, because I specifically mentioned that I have exactly 500 IQ, knows exactly everything, and is equal to exactly infinite IQ. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of the gifts and knowledge to God Almighty Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Again, chat, I have exactly 500 IQ, knows exactly everything, and is equal to exactly infinite IQ. You know what I mean? And this is a gift to God on my juice place. And my homie Dakota didn't necessarily know. He thought that I was just bragging. No, you gotta realize it's very rare to witness. You know. And there's another thing I want to mention because I actually almost had a heart attack, and I could be in a coma right now, but thank goodness I wasn't because I can't rest in peace. I'm a virtue. I'm obviously without sins, without mistakes, and very righteous in terms of me being a virtue. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna disagree because we are mentally mature. But anyway, she mentioned you guys are not old enough to head to the movies on your own, unsupervised. Especially in the area that you guys are in. We care about you guys that much. That's why we want you to... Okay, but I'm aware of the area. And she mentioned, because God forbid, meaning she doesn't want God to unforbid. She wants him to forbid. So God Almighty Jesus Christ forbids. She mentioned, because God forbid, if you guys got kidnapped, I don't know what I would possibly do. What I would do, though, is bite that person's finger, and they'll be like, ah, you fucking bitch! I actually would, because my teeth are strong. And they're not called adult teeth. They're actually called adolescent teeth, meaning... Actually, there's actually another word for it. Adolescent. Your teeth could be like that before you're an adolescent, so anyway. She's my life, and I don't want her to go anywhere, or head anywhere. And I mentioned to her, I got you. Well, Hope can consider supervising her, but I specifically mentioned to Amber, let's just take a break from heading to the movies, and I can consider hanging out with her either at her grandparents' place or your place if she's at your place, whenever, and her dad's place. And I mentioned supervise because I want to go with the flow. You know, do I actually want her to? No, but at the same time, I don't want her mom to be pissed at me and thinking like, oh, I'm just stubborn when I'm not, because her daughter is. But I'm not saying that her daughter's a dumbass. You know. But she mentioned, yes, that is a great idea. And that's alright, meaning she mentioned that's fine. But you guys are allowed to head to the movie. You just need to have permission from either Amber's dad or Hope. And please don't call her stepmom again, simply because I don't necessarily want her to be Amber's stepmom member. And I mentioned to you and explain that to you, and I mentioned to her, I know it's just her, but for my sake, just remember. And she mentioned to me, so how's school going for you this year? Which I mentioned understandable, meaning I would ensure that Hope is not her stepmom. And she mentioned how's school, which I'm not necessarily at school. And I mentioned to her, well, I'm actually currently within an internship, so I actually may possibly consider applying to enroll within Miami University next year. And she mentioned, that's cool, and I mentioned, appreciate it. She mentioned, have you chat with Amber yet at the moment? And she mentioned, no problem, good luck, meaning this will be a blessing for you. And I mentioned to her, you think Amber is eligible to head into college, or depending if she's willing to? Simply because I did research on, for those who don't necessarily have a diploma, or still able to, but it's her choice, I was quite curious if she's able to. And I mentioned, yeah, I chat with her every day. And she mentioned, I don't think that she would head into college because I don't think she's ready to. It wouldn't be for her. And I mentioned, well, I understand. And she mentioned, when's the last time you chat with her? And I mentioned to her, right when she overall got out of school. And she mentioned, she mentioned, okay, simply because I can't necessarily call her. Her phone doesn't necessarily work that way, so I need to get a hold of her. And the simplest way I can consider contacting her is through Facebook. So can you possibly please chat with her in a few minutes? Mention to her I need to FaceTime her, and I mentioned sure. And she mentioned, thanks, I've gotta head out, so have a great night. And she's like, and I mentioned to her, you're welcome, you as well. So yeah, overall, I just didn't like that because why exactly would you think that we're not mentally mature? And that's one. And two, why would you think we're not old enough? She means like, well, actually no. Cross that part. It took me to process what I was going to mention. So one, why exactly she mentioned that we need someone more mentally mature when we're mentally mature? And two, why would you think we're not mentally mature? Because old enough actually means not mentally mature. That's like an old term. Back in like a couple centuries, you know? Yeah, I don't like it. And another thing I actually want to mention, so Farhan girl, and I'm actually gonna be honest, and I'm hoping that she doesn't find this channel. Actually, I'm hoping she finds this channel, but I'm hoping she doesn't find my live stream, because whenever I upload something, or excuse me, not upload, whenever I get finished streaming and it insert into my channel, meaning like it's automatically on my channel because like I'm streaming and then afterwards it's like on here because, well, I'm streaming. Why exactly would they not? Because you know how on TikTok or Instagram, well, actually Instagram allows it. You know how on TikTok when you go live and then after you end the live, the person can't see you, which is stupid. Like, why would you want to end the live? Well, excuse me, you have the right to end the live. I mean, like, why end the live when you realize? Not that. Come on, we have the right to end the live. When you end the live, at the end though, why would it not necessarily be on TikTok? Like, why can't people rewatch your live if they missed it? Or that's one, and two, didn't have the chance to finish the whole thing. Like, for example, like me, I typically would mention I have to head out, which when I mean that, I mean like I need to manage my stress and anxiety. I don't want to mention like I need to mention it because then they're gonna be like, hey, do this, you can stay in here. You never know. What if they want me to remain in the live stream? That is actually forceful. Like, are you stupid? You're actually gonna go to hell, or you're just sinful. What? Like, let's say for example, if they're less sanctified or lowly sanctified, and I have to deal with my homie Farhan at certain times, and Farhan and I are chill. I just don't want to have beef with him, especially my homie Angel, because I love him as my homie. I consider him as my brother divinely, so you know. Damn. But yeah, overall, you know, and I'm mentioning this because if they watch this, they'll be like, okay, okay. They wouldn't care what I mention. I mean, they would. They'd be like, why are you mentioning about Amber's mom? Like, because she mentioned something. But like I mentioned, she's a Gen X. Gen X, obviously, no offense, they're dumbasses, majority of them, because they think they're outdated, they're old-fashioned. Compare that to me, Gen Z. I'm a smartass, but not all can be. What if they're like Gen X as well? You never know. What if they're old-fashioned? Is my homie a Gen Z? Hold on, let me see which year is a Gen Z. I'm pretty sure my homie Angel in Farhan's a Gen Z. Actually, he is. It's from 1997, or excuse me, 1997 to 2012. Oh, because people thought that the world was gonna end, so the generation changed. Hold up. Gen Z refers to the generation born within 1997 or 1997 to 2012. Following millennials and preceding generation Generation Alpha. They are overall known as digital natives simply because they grew up with the internet and are characterized as diverse, pragmatic, and concerned with social issues like climate and mental health. Key formative events associate the widespread availability of smartphones and social media, and certain events like the Great Recession and the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, because Gen Alpha, because it continues. Digital native, they are overall the first generation to grow up within the internet, smartphones, and social media as a constant presence within their lives. Well, absolutely, if we need the internet, that is like the immediate way, you know? Diverse and inclusive. Gen Z is the most diverse generation within American history and is overall known for its emphasis on inclusivity and acceptance. Mental health awareness. Their overall generation that are partially focused on mental health and are overall open about discussing it. See me chat. Didn't COVID occur when Gen Alpha occurred? Like when someone's a Gen Alpha? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so yeah, about Farhan girl, because actually I want to mention about her and her friend, which is like my friend. And obviously you just keep it private. So his girl name is Addison and her friend name is Nancy, which is my friend as well. So our friend anyway. which Nancy's chill. She actually just apologized for whatever reason. Because apparently there's certain shit she did. See, people are guilty because I'm pretty sure God on my Jesus Christ plans it. He knows. He predetermined. He's like, I know before it even occurred. Because he overall knows the outcome, you know. But anyway, so Addison was mentioning something like, I know someone who's Chaldean or whatever, which is my culture. And I was like, who? And she was like, nothing. And I'm like, excuse me, why are you hiding it from me? And I'm actually gonna text Farhan this. Farhan's gonna be pissed. I get it, it's his girl, but he ain't gonna mention to her. It's gonna be between him and I. Because if I mention to her, then she'll be like, oh, why are you talking shit about me? Hey, baby girl, people talk shit because they don't want people to see people bitching, you know. I mean, my homie Andrew doesn't bitch, which is why I'm gonna say shit to his face. So, because he actually mentioned something to his girl, like, and I'm gonna mention one thing. I'm not gonna mention her name or whatever, but he mentioned to her, or he mentioned to me what I actually did his girl if she was single, and I was like, that was a hypothetical question, and he understood. So that's all I gotta mention. Anyway, Andrew and I are chill, obviously. I just had to deal with beef. Well, not beef. I had to just deal with close call beef, meaning it was gonna occur, but at the same time, I got situated like, not good. I knew how to manage it and not interfere with it. Actually, I'm gonna mention the Farhan as well. Watch this. Yo, just so you know, bro, I almost had a heart attack, bro. Cause real shit, bro. My stress and anxiety, which obviously you know it's specifically associated with my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very, my bad, which is very rare and very temporary, and overall very decreased, like very decreased overall. Yeah, I mean, my bad. My phone is 20%, so that's why like I mentioned my bad. But apparently, your girl Addie, and keep the shit between us, bro. Apparently, she's mentioning, I know someone who's Chaldean. I'm like, who? And she's like, nothing. And then I was quite curious, who or whatever. And then she's like, none of your business. I'm like, excuse me? Like, I was wondering if it was about you, because she mentioned someone's Chaldean, and I'm like, I was pissed. And whenever I mentioned Barney, the guy who spread the rumors, which, no offense, I mean, he's chill, just keep this shit between us, though, alright? I mean, I get it when we talk about our homie Angel, we mention to his face, because he won't be pissed, but you never know, certain people get pissed. That's why we talk shit, in a term, like, about shit about them, you know. Anyway, apparently she yells at me, Nancy, keep the shit between us. Yeah, I guess she apologized, but we're going with the flow, and she, like, mentioned, it's ED, and I'm like, I was gonna mention to her, yo, why the fuck you yelling at me? Like, that's what he calls himself. Like, I get he has autism, but, like, real shit. There you go, chat. There is your answer of why I was pissed. And I almost had a heart attack. My heart was beating. Actually, it was actually beating like that as well when you remember with that beef that I had on Sunday? Excuse me, not Sunday, Saturday? I did not see like it, so. Alright, so what I was gonna mention, so apparently Farhan girl and her friend, which is like our friend, which she's like, she was Dustin age when she was, like, she's 17, but obviously I'm friends with her, and Farhan is as well, like, just friends, you know, obviously. You know, in terms of the current law, like, despite the age formula laws being temporary, but overall, I already mentioned the changes for exactly year 2029 and exactly year 2035. But anyway, you know, despite the age criminal laws being temporary, yeah, I mean. But anyway, so his girl mentioned to me, oh, I know someone, I know someone who's Chaldean, and I'm like, who? I'm quite curious, and she's like, nothing. And I'm like, who's Chaldean? And she's like, none of your business. And I'm like, excuse me? And I was gonna mention, you do realize it's a sin to use that because you're actually wanting to hide the gossip from that person, which gossiping is a sin, and talking shit is not gossiping. Talking shit actually means that you want to prevent that anger from occurring. There's a difference between false rumor and true rumor, and she is hiding that true rumor from me. And I'm like, you do realize you gotta love your neighbor for how God Almighty Jesus Christ loves us, and that means not hiding shit from a person. Yeah, if when it comes to like asking someone for their state ID, that's different, or excuse me, their license, that's different because you want to have their address because of murder and being a thief. That is different. You can't give that information because who they are and what you've known about them. And I didn't fucking like what she mentioned because I want to know who's Chaldean. If she's referring to Farhan, then I would have been like, got you. Like, isn't it that hard to not give you information? Like, that's the whole point. Like, when I was a teenager, I wasn't like that. And I knew some people who were girls who weren't like that either. I mean, who knows? Because you never know. I'm pretty sure you weren't like that when you were within your teenage phase, when you were, you know, a younger adolescent, you know. But I was pissed. And then his girl, so this person named Barney, he has autism, and actually mentioned this group chat, which I'm not disrespecting. Well, she mentioned his name is ED, and I'm like, why the fuck are you yelling at me? I was gonna mention that, but I didn't want to interfere because my heart was pounding and my stress and anxiety were increasing, and I almost went into a coma. Like, I almost like passed out. Well, it may seem like it took a while for me to process like whether it was gonna occur or not, you know. Damn, I sent them a 2-minute and 30-second voice-item message. I'm pretty sure he was joking. And that one specifically mentioned. I'll say so. Those are what I want to mention. But oh yeah, the changes for those who are new here. So the changes that exactly to year 2029, I'm gonna ensure that certain age requirement laws are lowered. So before choosing 7+ for a wedding, sex, and pregnancy, in terms of being aware of your mental maturity and ensuring that there's no harm, like rape, aka rape, or sexual assault, whatever, however you want to call it. Like, just don't be lustful, meaning don't be a sex offender, obviously. Like, don't choose sex over that. Like, don't force it, you know? And no exploitation. Like, don't be arrogant. Don't be taking advantage in terms of, like, leading to lust in terms of sex. Or just over taking advantage in terms of relationship. Yeah, I mean, which is arrogant. But anyway. Because my kids can be with whoever, whether older or younger, or their age, whatever they prefer. They have free will, so God Almighty Jesus Christ once they're here within this fallen or sinful / fallen state / version of this world / earth / original earth / original world and / number one earth. Yeah, I mean, as according to certain biblical series, aka the Holy Bible. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like how this is our number one earth, obviously. And the one orbiting ours isn't Earth, but it's referred to as a moon because it means a planet orbiting a planet simultaneously alongside a star. That's what a moon is. That's how I got a name, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean. But anyway, but yeah, just I'm gonna lower some of the age requirement laws on exactly 2029 to just prove to humanity that people are mentally mature overall, like regardless of their chronological age and regardless of their mental maturity. Yarami. Especially the chronological ages I specifically mentioned in my recent life. Yarami. And on exactly, and I'm gonna be vice president during that time and a House of Speaker. So you know that's how I'll make those changes. Like when I suggest those shit to JD Vance as well, and then he agrees and he's like, I agree. I'm gonna sign into bill. Like sign into law so that it can change. And it's just gonna be lowered for now. And then on exactly the year 2035, while I'm president at exactly 30 years old, and Farhan is vice president at exactly 32 years old on exactly the year 2035, I'm going to most likely remove all age requirement laws on exactly the year 2035 and ensuring that it's permanently illegal / sinful to enforce any age requirement laws like overall. Like as I specifically mentioned in my recent live stream, yeah, I mean, and choose like a perfect age. Like as I specifically mentioned in my recent live stream, yeah, I mean, like regardless of our chronological age, meaning the chronological ages I specifically mentioned in my recent live stream, and regardless of our mental maturity, because like I mentioned, for example, I was mentally mature when I was 13, and compared that to when I'm 20, it's the same thing overall. Just that back then, it took me a very long while for me to process in terms of majority of the aspects or majority of the things compared to today where it takes quite a while for me to process in terms of certain aspects or certain things. Yeah, I mean. But yeah, like, you know, regardless of our chronological age, meaning like the ages I mentioned, like 13, I needed to open a bank account, but unfortunately I couldn't because, you know, in terms of the current law, like despite the discrimination laws being temporarily, yeah, I mean. And compared to today, you know, because I'm actually gonna open another bank account. Yeah, I mean, and I should have my own dentist. Like I mentioned to my stepmom, like could I possibly have my own dentist? You know, and I can head into Arabic store because there is some Arabic food I want to consider getting. You know, like Arabic cheese. I love Arabic cheese. Yeah, my breath will stink, and I'm gonna be honest with you, chat, about my hygiene and I should mention it when I get a chance, actually. But yeah, overall, that's what I mean by that. Like, regardless of our chronological age and regardless of our mental maturity, you know what I mean? Especially the chronological ages I specifically mentioned in my recent life, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that, meaning the ones I mentioned. Like, for example, when it comes to sex, wedding, and getting pregnant, like, you know, wedding, having sex, and getting pregnant, it would possibly be 7 plus. And if they mention you have to start puberty, what if it's before puberty, you know? You just gotta be aware of your mental maturity. That's typically the age. Back then, it was 5 plus because people were. I'm pretty sure it was like a miracle to God of Jesus Christ where people who are fully grown into, you know, a kid, like temporally, physically, a kid slash child was in their mortal body. I mean, right when you're born, you're temporally, physically, a kid slash child was in your mortal body. So you're a kid like for 9 years, you know. But there's a catch. A baby is temporarily, only temporarily within your mortal body, especially a toddler. Toddler actually means when you toddle around in a baby, it just means like a tiny kid, like a little kid, you know. But when they're 5, that's when they're physically a, like fully physically a kid, like temporarily physically a kid slash child within their mortal body. You know what I mean? That's how they're aware. But that's a miracle. Not all 5 and 6 years old are, and that's why if my kid is 5, I can make an exception for playing Walking Dead if God doesn't necessarily forbid, which why would he forbid? Obviously he wouldn't necessarily, like God of Jesus Christ. Then I would be like, you can watch you can watch a T T you can watch a rated MA movie because it is gonna be switched to MA because I feel like it means like being mental mature because R means restriction, and PG should be post generational, not parental guidance because I feel like there should be no guidance. You can have guidance to ensure that it's appropriate, meaning you're aware of your mental maturity and they can understand. That's what appropriate means, meaning it's suitable. And inappropriate means not suitable, like unsuitable. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are the changes I'm gonna make on exactly the year 2029 and 2035. You know what I mean? Like, despite the age requirement laws being temporary. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of our chronological age and regardless of our mental maturity. You know what I mean? Especially the chronological ages I specifically mentioned in my recent life. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna do something for quite a bit. So I'm gonna just be sure to skip to the part where I'm not necessarily AFK. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna do something for quite a bit. So Chat, I am back. My bad. I was just doing something for quite a bit, so. Chat, I am back. My bad. But yeah, y'all know what I was specifically referring to earlier, you know? Like, real shit. Hold on, I'm gonna charge my phone real quick. But yeah, I am looking forward to have kids. Real shit. I'm gonna have kids, so. But yeah, man, Amber's gonna be like 26 when she gets pregnant. I'm like, come on, bruh. But it's all good. I'll be like 23. Not bad. Anyway, I was up for to do. Let's get straight to the shit. Episode 3. And you'll see what I'm referring to by like younger zombies or younger people being zombies. Like the way I didn't like it. The way the person acted as. You'll see what I'm referring to.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
Okay, V, I see you.
You don't have to fill his cup up anymore, baby. Grandpa is sleeping.
No,
Oh,
Yaya.
this is like a whole like
Pipo's awake.
Solamente está
flashback.
confundido.
Mama!
Oh, she doesn't know that.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
She thought he resurrected, and that she's confused. People are not confused when they actually resurrect in real life in the future and saw in the video, so.
Hey!
I didn't kill him because I feel that. Yeah, it would bite back, you know.
Put your hands up and close your eyes.
Ooh, okay, Clem. That would have been cool if. Fuck Badger.
Oh, shit!
You'll know what I'm saying to. Man, that was badass. Like Clem wearing a hoodie. That would have been cool if they added that.
Javi, don't!
Hey. What do we call you?
Lord Jesus.
Sorry, forgot to introduce myself. It's Paul, but my friends call me Jesus.
So you're trying to say you're Apostle Paul, then you're like, oh my bad, my name is.
Knew it.
You're
Gotta
one
make
of them?
these
You're goddamn right she is.
Fuck you, Conrad.
You want to shoot me?
I disagree with the deal because, like, I don't want
here instead.
no death to occur. Oh, that ain't her boyfriend. Actually, that is because, you know. I like how she just made the face. She didn't, like, yell or anything. Cause you remember how she was gonna shit before? Like, back in, like, episode 1? I didn't want to, like...
What the hell's going on out here?
Oh my god.
Yeah, fuck David. He's gonna act all righteous at first, so we're gonna go slow, but later on... Like, chat, like... And I'm possibly gonna play a bit of episode 3 and then I'm gonna have to bed. But yeah, unfortunately my PS Plus ended, so I'm like pissed. But at the same time I can't be because that's greedy. Well, I'm not pissed.
So close to dark.
Well, I gotta find this. I'm not pissed. Like in terms of like, oh, I'm greedy, I want more. I'm pissed because like I want to continue playing GTA 5 online, and homie's gonna be like, you don't play GTA 5 online. I'm like, unfortunately, we're just gonna have to play Fortnite, which would be cool. I want to play Fortnite and grind. I feel like we need a peaceful moment. Because we constantly rage when we play GTA, so I'm gonna message to him. Like, if he calls me, I'm gonna message to him like just FYI, when I'm not able to play GTA. Because I was actually playing Retro Future Crack at time, and I'm not able to stream it, which unfortunately you can because you have to play on PS Plus, which I wish, like, I even, like, mentioned to myself, like, you know what, they should definitely consider making it free, where you can just buy all. Excuse me, like all the PS3 games and then PS4 on the PS6, because obviously if you're on PS5 you can buy the PS4 games like with money, but for the PS3 it's free, excuse me. So for PS6, all PS3 games, because not all of them are on the PS Plus. Like, I want to play Sonic Unleashed. I want to stream it. You know, it'd be cool. Because my homie mentioned if you buy the PS3 console, nobody would watch your stream, or not stream. Excuse me, not stream. They would watch upload. I'm like, why is that? Because they think because it's old. And I'm like, okay, it's more of the game, not the console. But I'm hoping Sony can add that. If they don't add that, then I'm gonna take over Sony in Japan, or I can create a headquarters in the U.S. You never know, in like LA, California. Anyways, I'll further discuss this shit. Cause Sony though, they were arrogant back then. They just care about what they want to create, or just, you know, not wanting to have advanced and futuristic technology, and they were slothful, not hard workers in terms of that, and they were greedy. They weren't using much of the money. Like they didn't want to make it advanced and futuristic, or like find anything that's advanced futuristic. Yeah, I mean, because the material for the technology is within this earth, you know. They're not going anywhere until the world ends in thousands of years, and I feel like by that time, people should use plenty of the technology. Otherwise, if the world ends in thousands of years, then everybody's fucked. And people think that the rapture is gonna occur on September 23rd. I'm gonna have to disagree because, like, I feel because people can't predict. No sinner knows. Do I know yet? I know it's thousands of years, but I'm not gonna say that exact year. Because what if God Almighty Jesus Christ mentioned, and I'm like, ooh, I can't mention to any sinners, because then they're gonna disagree and then make their own predictions, you know, saying, oh no, we want it now, we want it now. That is actually, because they're not gonna have fear. They're gonna have fear for some, but majority are gonna be arrogant, thinking that they're better. They just want the loyal return because they just want that attention, you know. Just like if you don't stream, they're just gonna they're gonna lose hope in you. So it's just like that. If you stop streaming, you stop uploading, and you're just gonna take a break for a while, which I would never. But I'm saying, like, for example, and God forbid that would necessarily occur for me to quit or take a break or not be as busy. Well, be as busy, but ensure that I stream whenever. And if I don't, just know I'm busy, chat. You can't just be desperate, you know, like, oh, you want the attention, you just want me to do that. That's exactly why they're predicting, because the Rosh Hashanah is a Jewish holiday, and I feel like that's the thing every year. Like, I feel like you gotta realize that's a holiday. Yeah, I get it. It resembles like they're putting hope in God Almighty Jesus Christ return for thousands of years, but this is gonna happen for thousands of years, and this actually happened for thousands of years, like from the past thousands of years, not the future thousands of years. Yeah, I mean so. But anyway, Charles, after this discuss such shit. But yeah, that's who Sony are. I mentioned plenty of people who are sinners, less sanctified, and not lowly sanctified or high sanctified or virtues. That's all I'm gonna mention. Anyways, chat, without further ado, discuss such shit.
It's harder to see them coming.
We're just gonna get that propane and then come right back.
I saw it in that pickup truck
me, Chad?
parked down the road a little, in front of the Wallace's house. I just wish there was an easier way to get it. And
The
that
Wallace?
we didn't have to risk life and
We
limb
have to consider trying.
every damn day for food and water and gas for the stove.
Nothing's easy anymore, Kate. But that doesn't mean we don't have to try.
I know. It's just hard to get used to, that's all.
We get over there, we grab the tank, and we get the hell back home.
I love Javi without
Lucky
the beard.
We won't see a single one of those things.
Fingers crossed.
I hate people having a beard. Excuse me, not people. I hate guys when they have a beard. I hate when they have a beard. I just hate beard, you know. Especially, I hate my own beard. Pretty sure that's a result through safety because pride, chat. People just go for the looks.
Let's take it and go.
Because when I was at the bar on Saturday, people were assuming I'm 25, and they're like, you know what? He can drink. He is 4 years older than the age he would become. Okay, why you guessing my appearance? That's my beard. Because you remember how I was showing the beard on GT5 Online? Y'all noticed that regardless of what beard I want to choose for him, which you can't grow beard like that. That's like you're cutting skin for that to grow. No, that is fucked up if that were to occur. But no, that's just part of the game, you know. Oh, she could have used a cream or something. Man, I want to head to bed. I'm not tired. I never get tired, but like my head hurts and then my eyes just want to shut or whatever. Like my eyelashes or whatever does have that like certain type of feature where, you know, if I pull my eyeballs, then I'll be able to see, you know. Possibly I'll play a bit of this. That's when I'm gonna head upstairs, trim my nails, and then Head to bed, you know. But overall, chat, like, I just feel like it's prideful to just have a beard, you know? Yeah, I was drinking, but I'm pretty sure if I didn't have a beard, who knows what they would have mentioned. What if they mentioned, you seem mentally mature, you seem like you know how to consume alcohol and be responsible? Because when I was 16, I was responsible, but I just drink whatever. Because it took long for me to well, back then, like I mentioned, Chad, it took me a very long while for me to process in terms of majority of the aspects or majority of the things compared to today, where it takes a while for me to process in terms of certain aspects or certain things. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, just drinking responsibility. Yeah, I mean, excuse me. Oh yeah, that's the whole point why the casino's 21 plus. Because I'm like quite curious, is because of no self-control for gambling and drinking, or either or whatever. So who knows? Anyway, Travis offers to do this shit. But yeah, I just prefer if you don't have a beard. But for certain boys, it's their choice. Because you never know how they would feel if you make them not have a beard, so you know. If someone mentioned to me, man, just get rid of the beard, you look young. And I'm like, I possibly could. But don't force me, you know. I prefer if you just mention it once or a couple times and... Actually, once or a couple times so I can, like... Because it's going to take off in the process, just mention, like, hey, man, you should definitely get rid of the beard, man. You look young for who you are, but I want to see what you look like without the beard. Or just permanently get rid of it if God doesn't forbid. Be possible. Yeah, I mean, like, God might just doesn't necessarily forbid, you know? I know Travis offers do this because shit. But hold on, give me a minute. But, I just keep the beard because, like, I don't want to deal with... Because when I trim, then I have to clean all the hair up, but... who knows, I'll get if I do or not, you know? Yeah, actually, after this flashback, I'm gonna end it. I mean, my head hurts, so... I just hate it when it hurts.
Empty.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. God damn it!
Whoa, baby girl. She looks younger as
Of
well.
course it's empty. Why would we get that lucky? I mean, it's not like we needed it or anything.
Hey, don't beat yourself up about it. It was worth a shot. It just didn't work out.
I'm sorry. I'm just sick of this shit.
I am as well. I was about to where noise will attract them, but I feel like walkers are sent. Like the clickers, they only follow scents, not sound. Unless they follow sound, who knows?
We deserve to catch a fucking break.
Watch this, you'll see what I'm referring to. Uh-oh. Speaking of that, whoa! Oh, I don't want him to fight me.
Kate, you're a hammer now!
Oh god.
That's a badass haircut. He's like, I die with my haircut like that. Oh my gosh. I gotta check that. Oh! But yeah, I didn't like it because it was just... I didn't like how... Keep on pause this real quick. I didn't like how they only brought one that was younger as a zombie, and that they didn't brought plenty. That's one, and then two, I mean, The Walking Dead Season 4, they did, like, Tennessee, if he got shot, or James, which he's young, like, still young overall, but Tennessee's younger, you know, age-wise. Because Tennessee haven't aged, but James... Actually, James haven't, because what if he's not in his 20s? So yeah, I would say younger. Well, young because he's gonna age, potentially, but Tennessee's younger, you know? Because he's, like, far behind, you know?
I was just
I'm actually gonna end it right here, actually.
fucking scared.
You froze. It's okay.
I wanted to kill it. I really did. I know him. That was one of Gabe's friends. Drew.
Damn, rest
He
in
was
peace.
so sweet. He always had a smile on his face.
I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm sure he was a good kid.
He's not a kid anymore. He's just
Nah, he is.
one of those things.
Or adolescent, because he seems like it.
I don't even know what to call them.
Like temporarily,
If
physically,
they're
now
not
someone's in the mortal body.
people. If they're just...
But she means like he's no longer who he is. I know what she's referring to in the storyline. But I was gonna mention, like, I'm not gonna necessarily mention or constantly mention like adolescent slash adult because, like, you know, that is a current synonym, unfortunately. Like overall, especially within this decade, which is like the final decade for it to occur, and then the next decade on exactly the year 2035 when I make those changes, and the other changes I mentioned for exactly the year 2029 and 2035, which I think 2029 is gonna possibly end, or 2035 or whenever. Actually, 2029. So I say the final year of the decade is when it won't necessarily occur. Yeah, I mean, but essentially will continue. Will just change next decade. Yeah, I mean. So instead of using the word adolescent slash adult, because the word adult means increased mental maturity, like you're mentally mature slash mentally an adult. So the word adult means increased mental maturity, means up. Increased mental maturity, yeah, I mean. Like regardless of our chronological age and regardless of our mental maturity, yeah, I mean. Especially the chronological ages I specifically mentioned in my recent license, yeah, I mean. Man, I want to end it. Like whenever.
It's because I done had the three officers pull up on me, right? And they asked me, hey, now the reason why I'm asking that question is because I done had the three officers pull up on me, right? And they asked me, hey, are you the owner of that crazy little bike with the wheel lights and everything? I'm like, yeah. So then they're like, hey, it's such a cool bike. Where is it at? I'm like, why are you asking? And I was like, man, it's broken down now. Cause I just need 2 new tires. Where do you find like?
That's Dakota chatting, for those who are quite curious.
Bike shop. I'm like,
Obviously, you know, so.
which bike shop do you guys recommend? They're like, we don't know. but then yet, they asked me another question. I'm like, what the fuck you guys asking me that suspicious question? Like, and they're like, hey man, we just want to know, bro. We love that bike. We want to see that bike out here again. I'm like, oh my god. So now the cops want to see my bike. The Shelby cops want to see my bike. The Sterling Heights cops want to see my bike. The Utica cops want to see my bike. And it's like, I feel so bad because I can't do anything about it, but all I need is 2 new tires for that dime. And I think it's a bad thing that cops want to see my bike so bad they want to take a picture with it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Dakota, no offense, and I'm not disrespecting or anything, but why exactly are cops typically on your ass or Craig's ass? Like, I'm quite curious. Well, not Craig, because Craig, like, cops are off his ass, but I'm like, why are they typically on your ass? Or just like being suspicious towards you or whatever? I'm quite curious, or asking you suspicious questions. Cause real shit, you haven't committed any crimes/sins, which overall, you know what I'm specifically referring to overall. Religiously speaking. But overall, like, why are they on your ass overall? Like, I'm quite curious. I mean, yeah, you mentioned about your dirt bike. It has nothing to do with what you did overall. I'm just quite curious. But yeah, you know what I'm specifically referring to though earlier. No self-control for gambling and drinking. Young.
Sorry you had to see that. I'm sure.
Who he is. I know she's referring to the storyline. But I was gonna mention like I'm not gonna say mention or constantly mention like adolescent/adult because like you know that is a current synonym unfortunately like overall especially within this decade which is like the final decade for it to occur and then the next decade on October is when it won't necessarily occur. Yeah, I mean, but the century will continue. It will just change. Next decade will change. Yeah, I mean. So instead of using the word adolescent/adult, because the word adult means increased mental maturity, like you're mentally mature/mentally an adult. So the word adult means increased mental maturity means up. Increased mental maturity, yeah, I mean. Like regardless of our chronological age and regardless of our mental maturity, yeah, I mean. Especially the chronological ages I specifically mentioned my recent life, yeah, I mean. But yeah, like regardless of our chronological age in regards of our mental maturity, especially the recent chronological age, or excuse me, especially the chronological age as I specifically mentioned my recent life, yeah, I mean. Man, I wanna add this. Like, whatever. But yeah, overall, like temporally, physically, an adolescent within the mortal body, yeah, I mean, you know, y'all know what I'm specifically referring to. Because he was like 10 plus or something. Like, he was either that age or whatever. Or even before that, you never know. It's gonna take a while for him to process, yeah, I mean, like he could possibly go through puberty or whatever. I know he shows up for this conspiracy shit. Which I'm gonna possibly undo whenever, but anyway.
The dead. Muertos.
That's what we'll call them.
Means zombies in Spanish, I'm pretty sure.
I thought we were gonna die.
Nah, never.
Gabe and Mariana were just gonna wake up and we would just be gone. When
Never.
it was on you,
I'm right here, okay? I'm here. You're here. We're still alive. That's what matters.
Exactly. And plus, dying when your niece and nephew are curious is gonna be fucked, you know? Nah, that'd be wild. Hey, did you have a chance to listen to my 38-second voice ID message, Dakota? Because this was a question specifically towards you.
You know, bitch boy, you should get some. I'm funny, look fucking crazy with fucking raised on.
Shit, would you imagine though? Okay. Okay, well, let's see, forget that. Or forget
Can
this.
we go back
Exactly.
now?
Sure. Yeah, we won't die, don't worry. Rest in peace, though, Drew. Whether you're going through puberty or you were 10, who knows when you got bit. Like, whether you're temporarily physically now someone within your mortal body or temporarily a kid slash child within your mortal body. You know what I mean? Like, going through puberty, like you're about to be 10 or whatever. Like, you're either 8, 9, 10 or whatever. But anyway, chat, I'm gonna end right here, because you don't want to have to bed or whatever, get ready for work. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna end right here. If you want to see more of me playing The Walking Dead Season 3 and New Frontier, which is not necessarily a typical playthrough, be sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'm gonna end right here. Take it easy, chat. Before I end right here, though, actually, so yeah, I was gonna mention about my hygiene earlier. So in terms of my stress and anxiety, which you all know that it's specifically associated with my, y'all know that my stress and anxiety, in terms of its like level or whatever, my stress and anxiety level, it's specifically associated with my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very, very, very temporarily and overall very decreased, like very decreased overall. Yeah, I mean. And I also mentioned about my hygiene earlier, my oral hygiene, that sometimes my breath stinks, sometimes my teeth are dirty, even though I brush them whenever. But there's a time where I don't brush them every day, which I do. I just gotta be honest, and you don't notice that because I don't have my face cam, you don't see my teeth dirty, and plus you can't smell my breath. But if you talk to me in person, you may notice, and you may notice the linger. Which it's all good. It's actually not a sin. It's possibly a result of my traumatic situation, which you all know what I'm specifically referring to in terms of my stress and anxiety, specifically social is, you know what, like that specifically, yeah, I mean. But yeah, I'm gonna end right here, chat. And if my kids have bad breath, I ain't gonna blame them. I wouldn't actually mind it, because bad breath is actually not all bad. And I actually consider bad breath possibly consider something else. But I'm aware my teeth are white, my tongue is not like white, like how some people are when they don't brush their tongue much. Like I'm aware I had moisture within it or whatever. So yeah, anyway, jumping out right here. Take it easy, chat. And if you have bad breath, and someone in the world head towards you to like smell it, don't mention that you have bad breath. That's actually disrespectful, when you you're assuming that they're sloth, like they're lazy or they're arrogant. They don't care. They just want to put themselves above others. Don't like mention that they have bad breath. You can mention that your breath has like some type of odor. Just mention it in a respectful term, and like mention to them, just be aware that your teeth needs to be pearly white, like crystal clear. And especially your tongue needs to be pink, and ensuring that you don't have much of a bad breath over. So yeah, I mean. And I'm gonna end right here. Take it easy, chat.